Hey everyone, Drew from Monkey's Tropicals Adventures here to do another fragrance review on
What smells good to me?
So what are we going to talk about? So first, full disclosure, the fragrance I'm going to talk about was sent to me for review. However, I am going to give you my honest opinion and my take on this fragrance. So with that being said, let's do this. So I want to thank Hanny at Alexandria Fragrances for sending me this fragrance. I've been a big fan of Alexandria for a little over a year now, and I really do enjoy their fragrances. I think they do a great job. Inspired fragrances, original creations, and they really make an affordable alternative to some of those really great fragrances that we all have come to love. So the one we're going to talk about today is called The Godfather, and this is inspired by Nasomatto's Baraonda. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So I do not own that fragrance. I am a big fan of Nasomatto. They make some really nice fragrances. I like Black Afgano, which Alexandria really made a great identical clone in my opinion. But The Godfather, like I said, of Nasomatto's Baraonda, is a really nice, sexy, boozy type fragrance. We got notes of whiskey, woody notes, amber, ambroxan, rose, and musk. So since I don't own Nasomatto's fragrance, I had to do some research and kind of figure out what I was working with here and how close it is. So since I can't compare them side by side, I'll just tell you my experience. So first initial spray, I get a very, very realistic whiskey boozy note. Really nice, not overly sweet, but it really smells like a highball whiskey. It smells awesome. This dries down into what I kind of get is like a light vanilla, woody, kind of amber, kind of caramel type, not gourmand by any means, but it definitely morphs. The whiskey dries down. It kind of sits way in the back at about the hour 2 mark. I'll get little whiffs here and there, but it's no longer taking the wheel, so to speak. It is really interesting how the other notes come into play. It was funny, when I got this fragrance, the main thing I was really interested in was like the whiskey. I like boozy notes, I like tobacco, I like oud and stuff. And I didn't notice the rose in the note listing. And as I'm wearing it, I was like, man, I smell like a really nice rose. I used to have a huge rose garden. And I start smelling rose, and I was like, I gotta check out this note profile. Sure enough, there's rose. So like I said, as it dries down, you kind of get this light vanilla, woody, amber type scent accords, and the rose, and you get some of that musk. And I really like, because rose is like one of those things that if it's done wrong, it can be overly sweet, it can lean really heavily feminine, or almost like grandma type fragrance. And that's not what you're getting here at all. And in my opinion, you're kind of like getting a couple different fragrances here, because that initial hour to 2 hour whiskey note that's really heavy and very realistic, that's like a great fragrance in itself. So if you were at like, I don't know, a 2 hour cocktail party, that's it, you would have a pretty badass fragrance just right there. But like I said, as you morph and it dries down, you start getting that light vanilla, that woody, that amber, and then the musk and the rose really start coming into play, and they pretty much stay the entire rest of the fragrance. I got about 7 hours out of this, and at that point, it became a skin scent, but it was still noticeable. Obviously, it's a skin scent, but that's about the max I got. It was about 7 hours. When I looked at longevity of Nasomatto, from what some people were saying, they were getting like between 8 to 12. Again, a fragrance longevity on your skin, it differs from person to person. There's so many different factors that come into play. And then there's also some fragrances that just make total hardcore beast fragrances. I don't see this as a beast, but it does project quite nicely, like I said, with that initial whiskey blast, which was really nice. Where would I wear this? I think this is a nice office safe fragrance. I think it would be perfect for that transition after work, if you go to cocktail parties or the bar after, mingle mixers, whatever you want to call them. The Regal Beagle, I'm dating myself there. Perfect for that. Great date night fragrance, because I look at this as like a refined, kind of classy, sexy fragrance that would be somewhat noticeable, not somewhat noticeable, it would be very noticeable on a date, and I think that your significant other would want to get a little bit closer. When can you wear this? What seasons are you wearing this? Because I think it's light enough, you could get away with this as a year-round fragrance. Again, I always say in like all my videos, I don't live in sticky, humid weather, and I don't really think any fragrance really would do well in that, but I think this would do well in summer weather, spring weather. I think it would really pop in fall and winter, and you know, some fragrances just, they do really well in the cold. So I think it would pop in the fall and the winter, but I think it would be actually a really nice springtime fragrance as well. So if you have not bought from Alexandria fragrances in the past, one of the ways that you can find out what kind of fragrances work best for you is to buy some of their decants. And you can buy 6 of their decants that look like this, and you can pick 6 fragrances that you think that'd be full bottle worthy. Or if you already know and you want to kind of step it up and get a little bit more, you can get some of the travel atomizers that look like this and get some more scents and more juice in those atomizers. What I also tell people is make sure you sign up for the email alerts and follow Alexandria Fragrances on Instagram. They're always running a special. They run them usually at all the holidays, and I think I've seen as high as like 30% off. But they're always running something, and they're always cooking something up in the lab. They're always making a new fragrance or a hybrid or original creation. So you gotta always, I check almost daily just to kind of see what's going on with Alexandria. So there's a lot of good stuff in the works, and I know there's gonna be a fragrance for you out there. So with that being said, please follow me on Instagram at Monkey's Tropicals Adventures. Follow me over on YouTube at Monkey Man, and I will see you again for another fragrance review. Take care.